So, I want to tell you about two miracles in one day. It's a story that I will never forget. Wonderful experience of God working miraculously. Two miracles in one day. I think it was 2004. I was still drilling wells in the remote villages of Kuala Lumpur district, India. And accidentally, we found a village that's off the map. It was about 3.5 hour drive from the base itself in Kotoli. Uh, it wasn't that far, but the roads were very rough roads. But we accidentally found this place through somebody. Uh, there was no roads to this village. We had to go across streams uh, into sugarcane fields, unpaved, rough roads. But we found a group of around 50 families living in this village on the top of this valley. And we came to know water was a very severe situation, scarce issue. They had to walk for a long time to draw clean water. And in my standards, it's not clean. I saw the water they have brought in their houses. It was a bucket full of well, they had it set for a day, so every kind of debris sand and all kind of junk would kind of flood, kind of sink down to the bottom of the bucket, and they would scoop up the whatever water that's doesn't it wasn't clean. They said it was clean, but yeah, and then they would boil it and drink it, um, and do all kinds of stuff with it. So we we had such compassion for them that we decided off our schedule that we will drill a well in that village. But that itself was such a challenge because with a regular car going into that place took 3.5 hours. But imagine bringing a 20-ton drilling rig, drilling machine to that village. It would be nearly impossible. So we had to plan this out really well. And we, the day before, the villagers came out because they're so happy that we were willing to do this for them. The villagers came out and they cleared their sugarcane fields so the truck can come in. They did that all day the day before the drilling. Early morning, I went to the village with the ministry vehicle um, and waited. I don't, it was 7 or 8 in the morning. Waited for the truck to come, the drilling day. But when I went there, I saw a coconut and some flowers on the spot where we're supposed to drill. And I asked my companion, Pastor, what's this? He said, well, they want to. They're very what what do you say? Very many gods in India. um, so they want to worship the god of the land, god of the water, uh, to give them water when the drilling well comes. And when the drilling well comes, they want to worship the drilling well as well. Every year in October, there is a worship day for all the machines. The god of the machines are worshipped. Your computer, your car, they put flowers over it, they bow down to it, they worship it because they believe there is a God behind all machines. Um, anyway, I said no. No. If I didn't see it, that's fine. But I'm here and I'm looking at it. I can't let that happen. The pastor was a little bit set back. He was a little bit um, hesitant to tell the village leaders, you can't do puja here. You can't worship the god of the land, the water, and the machines. You can't do that. But I said no. Um, you have to tell the village leaders that Jesus is giving you water. It's not the God of the land, the water. It's God, Jesus is the God of the land and water, but there's no other gods of such. The pastor was hesitant, but he went and spoke to the villagers. They were not very happy to hear that, but they relented. So they took away their idol worshipping things, coconut and other things. Said they set that aside, and I waited for the drilling machine to come all day. Uh, they started out early just like I did. But because it's a 20-ton machine and the village's roads itself, not only the roads leading to that specific village itself is a very rough road for the drilling machines to come. It took them 6 to 7 hours just to arrive near to the village where we were drilling, and still they had to clear some more roads. And by the time we started to drill, it was around 7 at night. 7 at night. And normally it takes about 4 to 6 hours to drill. But we had to get it going because everything was ready, and the rig finally came, and the machine coming to that little village. Well, it wasn't in the center of the village; it was little outskirts. We couldn't enter the center of the village because there was gorges and streams, and we just couldn't make roads. But it was a little bit outskirts, but still, coming to that point itself was a miracle. But drilling is going to be another miracle because this village was on top of the valley, and as you know, water flows from top to bottom. And finding water on top of a hill or a valley is not that easy. Anyway, by faith, because I told all the villagers, don't do your puja because Jesus is going to give you water. I told them, start drilling at 7 o'clock at night. So they started to drill. And these rotary drilling machines, we didn't have those speed drilling machines. They're rotary drilling machines. It takes a long time, but at the same time, it's good because it finds little layers of water. Those fast drilling machines will just disperse those little layers of water. It won't be easy to find, but rotary ones find those layers of water underground. So they started drilling, and drilling. They went up to 90 meters of drilling, and this machine can only drill up to 100 meters. And there was no trace of water. By this time, it was 11 o'clock at night, and the drillers, the laborers came and said, "There's no water. We only have 10 more meters." I said, "Drill 10 more meters." But it didn't take long to drill another 10 meters. Same result. No water at all. No trace of water. Just dry dust coming out, just spewing out of the machine. Now, this does happen, and we drilled about 25 wells, India Mark IV bore wells, but 22 of them failed in the span of 2 years. So it does happen, but tonight it should not happen because I told the villagers Jesus was going to give them water, but there was no water. And people, by this time, 11:30 or so, there were a lot of people gathered in the beginning, but most of them have left, only a few people lingering around. The pastor suggested, let's go find another place and drill. Let's drill all night because we have to give them water. So I said, just stop everything. I said, I'm going to pray. I'm just going to go over to the hole. They pulled out all the, or they haven't pulled out pipes, the hole where they have drilled. And I'm going to just pray and ask the Lord to pray, to give water. I prayed. And of course, nothing happened. There was no gush of water springing out of the ground. And I made a decision. Let's stop drilling because they were all tired. Everybody was all tired, and drilling for another 4-6 hours all night would be so difficult. So I told them, just pull the pipes out. Let's call it a night. Tomorrow we will decide what to do. At that word, people were all sighing and they were saying, "Oh well." And the village people were starting to leave. And I was disappointed. Yeah, disappointed at myself and God. And I was a little embarrassed over the whole situation. But in the middle of the way, because the pipes are all the way down 100 feet, so they have to take pipes one pipe out at a time. And I think one pipe was around 3 or 4 meters or something. So as they were taking the pipes out, in the middle of it, I hear somebody yelling, "Wait! I see traces of water in the pipes they were taking out. And all of us run over there, those who were remaining, till then we ran, and we saw in the pipes that were coming in the middle, around 50-meter pipes, there were traces of water. And the more pipes they pulled out afterwards, there were traces of water. And the last pipe they put out was almost like covered in dirt water. And we said to ourselves, there's water in this place. Somehow there's water. So after the last pipe came out, I took a couple rocks and I threw it down the hole. And I heard going down. And at the end, pong, like a splash. I heard a splash at the end. And I was so shocked. I said, there's water in this place. I told everybody, there's water. Let's just wait till tomorrow morning and decide what to do, whether we should put a hand pump, or sometimes we put some submersible pumps inside to pump out water if there's a large quantity of water. The next day, I was so tired I couldn't go to the village, but I got a call from the pastor. He said, you wouldn't believe what happened. There's so much water coming out of this hole that we have to put a submersible pump. And that's how God did it. Just out of the blue, water came out. There was no water whatsoever. As we were drilling, as to the end of 100 meters, there was no water. But somehow, God brought water to that well and to that village, because he wanted to make sure that Jesus gave them water, and also defend and vindicate this little servant who proudly told them that Jesus was going to give them water. I will remember the story for forever, probably, because it such touched my heart. I don't know if I had faith. I just didn't like the puja thing that they were trying to do at the point where they were going to drill. And even at the end, I don't know if I had faith God will give water. I was just embarrassed. I was just desperate to do something because of what I said. Jesus will give you water. And Jesus stood by that word. He gave them water. And to this day, they have a submersible pump that's pumping out water to 50 families in that village. Such a testimony of the faithfulness of God. Well, I said 2 miracles, right? That was miracle number 1. The second miracle, I forgot to put diesel in this truck that we are not in the the drilling rig, but in my own truck. I told you it took 3.5 hours to go. We are at this empty. The needle is at the empty, just a little above the empty, but it's touching the capital E letter. The needle is touching it. And I'm like, oh, there is no gas station nearby. And even if there was, it's 12 at night. None of it is going to be open in these villages. And what to do? Do we sleep in the car? And do we ask somebody to bring diesel the next day? I didn't want to stay there, to be honest. And I didn't want to sleep in the car. So I said, let's just drive. Let's just drive until this car stops, and then we'll figure out what to do. Let's just drive it. And that was probably, some people may say it's a silly decision, but yeah, I was just too tired. I didn't want to stay there. I didn't want to sleep in the car. It was so hot, and we had to open the window. There's mosquitoes everywhere. It's not a camping thing in those villages. So I said, let's just drive. Let's just drive and see. Of course, it wasn't gonna go 3.5 hours on this nearly empty tank, but it did. I'm here to tell you that truck drove all the way back to our base in Kotori, 3.5 hours, and it stayed still. The needle stayed, almost like the needle was broken. It stayed at the capital E. And we thought, oh, maybe the needle is broken and we didn't know. We forgot that we had filled it. No, we went to the nearest diesel station the next day and filled it, and the needle went up to full. I want to tell you this miracle simply because I'm so excited to tell you that God is still a God of miracles. He's not the God of miracles in the Bible only. He loves to show himself off and do miracles for us when we ask, when we step out in faith. What situation you're in, I don't know. Is it financial situation? Is it marital problems? Is it family issues? Is it issues with relationships in your workplace? Or I don't know what situation. Is it health issues? I want you to know that God loves showing himself off. He loves performing miracles on behalf of his children who believe, who choose to say, I believe in you. And not once, not twice, until you see it, until you see your healing, until you see your breakthrough, until you see restoration. You keep asking, and that miracle will come. I guarantee you. God bless you. Shalom, Basem, Yeshua Mashiach Shalom.